Keith, since last we met, you've done your memoirs.
Ah, yes, Floyd in the Soup, sir. Floyd in the Soup, it is called, yes.
Is this a three-parter, then? The first
It's about 11 parts, if all goes well. This is just the first bit, yes, yes.
You write fluently and quickly, do you?
Joined-up writing, as opposed to my cookery books, which are a laborious process. There's another one of those any moment, too, called Floyd Over Britain and Ireland. I must get that in. But Floyd in the Soup is a true and authentic account of the horrors of the last 3 years, and every word, of course, has been hammered on the anvil of truth.
Wow. Makes a change, doesn't it? And does it include your French period?
It includes extracts, yes, little bits of it. What I now realise were the funny bits, but at the time they were the hair-raising bits.
Did they take kindly to you, the French, when you opened a restaurant there?
Yes, they came to laugh because they thought that we eat, in Britain at least, fish with jam on, and they're very confused about this thing they call l'agneau à la menthe, which is roast lamb and mint sauce. I don't quite understand how that fits into the whole thing.
They must have pregnant women as well as us.
Well, they do indeed. I had no idea it was so true. Yes, I used to get muddled with things like that. You know, I was trying to say to a lady once who'd helped me out, you know, you are a saint, which I believe should be said, vous êtes un saint, madame.
Ah.
In fact, I said, vous êtes enceinte, and she was furious because I said, you look pregnant. I slipped the tongue, and she clouted me one. But,
Charlotte, was your French perfect before you went to live there?
Yes, which did help enormously, because I do know what you're talking about, because they can be extraordinarily arrogant and helpful.
I had the sort of 11 words that you get when you failed O-level for the second time. And then, sort of 15 years later, to up sticks and go and live in a foreign country with 20 words. I mean...
But I'm sure somebody like you they would take to, because what happens with the French, that if you're rather uptight and arrogant, then they will be too, and they'll beat you at the game, because they can be much more than we can. But I'm sure with somebody like you, they took to you.
They did, in fact, take to me. It was very curious. I lived in a small market town, and I became the kind of sort of unofficial ambassador. I mean, they liked the fact, for a start, that a Brit was actually living and working in their community, as opposed to just coming along to rip off the grapes and the cherries and have a good time and pass by. But it did mean that if Liverpool beat Saint-Etienne at football, that was my... You know, they wouldn't speak to me for a week. if, as usual, in the 5 years I lived there, I lost every year in the Tournoi de Cinq Nations, and England was always beaten in the rugby matches, and they thought that was great, and made me walk around with a Union Jack at half-mast in the barn. and when Mountbatten was murdered, I mean, it was the most extraordinary morning. It usually took me 30 seconds to walk up the road from my house, from my restaurant to the market square. On that occasion, it took me 20 minutes, as the older people came out of their house and said, we are desolated, we are sorry that this has happened to this man. You must feel very sad.
That's charming.
It is charming.
Do you know, Charlotte, of any other English restaurants in France?
Irish one in Paris.
Oh, Myrtle Allen, yes, yes.
But English, no, I don't think I do. Were you unique, actually? Sorry. Could I start again?
Yes.
Are you unique?
Yes.
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 There's only one of him, yes.
There's only one at the moment, yes.
Your early days, certainly, I don't know how much more polished it's got, but chaos was the favourite ingredient of your programmes. Did the cameramen twitch at your approach?
Well, no, I mean, we've got lots of them here. I mean, the trouble with cameramen is if you're trying to take a souffle out of the oven in a studio programme, it's all very easy because there's 20 of them. There's about 18 people up in the gallery talking to each other with headsets and instructing things, you know, and they can film the souffle. But when we've just got one poor little cameraman, in this case it's Richard Elliott, and me, I actually, like with Chris, where's Chris on camera 3? I mean, I could make him leap up and down, couldn't I? Chris, could you just do something? Please, you know, there we are, you see. If I really want to talk to the camera, I have to go up and do this to it, because there's no other way, you see. I mean, come and look at my meat, because I need to do that. Because the director, my ex-director, lovely fellow, if he were to direct it, you know, it wouldn't be any need for me. If he was to say, well, come and do all this, I'd be superfluous, which is probably quite a good thing.
Yes. Well, at least you get a bit of exercise doing your shows. You had this mission to educate the English diner. But does this mean that now that people are aware of you, you get trapped by food bores?
I don't actually have a mission to educate anybody, I must say. I would just like people to have a good time with food, but yes, I do get trapped by food bores. I've almost become one myself. It is really... It's great. I mean, there's for real famous people like Charlotte, it's, you know, they get used to it. But for me, as a sort of an idiot cook, for people to say when I'm on the train, "Where's your wine, Floyd?" You know, or I'm on the train and a barrister comes, "So I've just bought this goose," you know, and he's absolutely legless. It's 10 to 7 on Christmas. How do I cook it, old boy? You know, and it's like the long handshake. You know, they never let you go. And you tell them how to cook the goose, and they say, "Oh, it's very good. Could you just write it down for me, please?" So we're in the pub having a snack. And the other night we were in the pub having a steak and chips, and the chap sat right next to me there, sort of staring at me like this, you see. And he turns to his friend and says, "It is, you know, it's Floyd." The other one says, "Who's that then?" You know.
Because all those bores enough to turn you off your food, really. What about letters, then? I mean, you must get an extraordinary selection.
I get, again, you know, for like being top of the 3rd division, which is out of all proportion to real television personalities who are in the top of the 1st division, I get an inordinate number of letters, and they are quite extraordinary. You know, a letter from Brussels the other day that said, "Your recipe for white wine sauce with the langoustines included 2 pints of vinegar. Are you sure that's absolutely right?" And I made it, and I bought the langoustines, which are Dublin Bay prawns, scampi, we'll call them what you will. And I would like the 23 quid back it cost me for this ruined meal. You know, you get these really stroppy letters.
And what's the range of people? I mean, do kids watch the show?
Oh, children send... Yes, I mean, everybody. I get really rude letters, you know, saying, "Come and steam my kitchen up any time," know what I mean? Through to, you know, our school custard is really good. And class 4 of wherever it was, all of the children painted pictures of their school dinners and sent them to me, you know.
Oh, horrible.
I mean, really good, it was lovely.
Yeah.
The letters go... You know, I'm a poor old age pensioner, and even though I can't afford the butter and cream you're always on about, you cheer me up. Thank you very much, you know. Or "Get off the box, you're a damn menace," you know.
Well, at least you're registering, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
What about now the flamboyant Floyd? Is this a studied image? Have you dressed with the bow tie for a long time?
Since I was about 15, yeah. I don't regard myself as flamboyant in any way whatsoever. I've got about 350 bow ties, or doesn't everybody, you know? I mean, all about that.
You have something in common with Clint Eastwood. He wears ginger shoes as well.
Yeah, these, Michael, are brilliant shoes. And I'm very pleased to say they're terribly expensive. And they're the only pair I've got. Unlike my jacket, which I share with my producer, it's a timeshare jacket. So, I like my ginger shoes.
There was a time when they would only be worn by consenting adults in private.